Okay, so Jonah, you're gonna be doing Bulls.
Yeah, I was thinking we could do the Bulls and the Bucks today.
Right on. So we got another NBA preview episode for the Bulls and the Bucks. So this will be interesting. Bucks are good. I don't know. I definitely wrote them off against I definitely thought they're gonna get past the Heat, but I couldn't have been more wrong on that.
I think a lot of people were with you on that.
Yeah.
Jonah and myself not included.
Yeah, nobody on this podcast.
Yeah, I know because I literally, when we were talking about it, I was like, it's a lock, right? That the Bucks are gonna get by Miami, but nope, not the case.
Me and Jonah had faith in Miami since the first round.
Oh yeah, ended up being a little bit too much faith, but I'd rather err on that side.
Yeah, didn't you guys say 6 in 6 they'd beat the Lakers?
I think so.
No, I think we said 7. I think we said 7.
Yeah, we said
okay.
7.
I think I said Heat in 6 or something.
And who knows if there weren't all those injuries to like Dragic and Butler and Adebayo, like maybe.
We've gone to 7.
Dude, it's LA, city of champions.
Yeah, did the Dodgers won tonight, right?
Yeah, the Dodgers took their dub. It's because they had Blake Snell was dealing and then he gives up his second hit of the ball game, and then I think the Rays manager is named like Kevin Cash or something. Oh yeah, Kevin Cash. He yanks him. It's like, why would you do that? It's like the 6th inning, and Blake Snell has only 72 pitches. It's like, dude, just let him do his thing. It could be the last game that you play all season. Just go all out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so dumb.
Is that it? Is baseball over now?
Yep. Dodgers, Lakers.
That's crazy, bro.
City of champions. I have the Rams or the Chargers. I don't think they're going to take the Super Bowl, but.
Well, I was actually born in Los Angeles, so that makes me a champion.
Let's go. Big day for you, Channon.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's sick. So, yeah, I had absolutely zero things about the Chicago Bulls besides Zach LaVine's there, correct?
Yep.
Jonah loves Zach LaVine.
What team do you want to start with?
Let's go ahead and start with the Bulls.
So we're going to get a little financial breakdown of the Bulls right now.
Right, yeah. So the Jim Boylan era is fully in the ledger for the Chicago Bulls. So it's kind of a fresh start there right now. New management, Arturas Karnisovich, I think I'm saying that right. He's coming in from the Denver Nuggets, and they've got Billy Donovan coming in from the Thunder to be the new head coach. And
that's sick right there.
Yeah, and so I guess we just as well start as we often do with the cap situation. So right now, the Bulls are over the cap by about $3 million, and they have 13 players on their roster, not including their free agents, such as Chris Dunn, I think Chandler Hutchinson, and Denzel Valentine are the 2 others.
Oh, Denzel, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Otto Porter's getting the bag.
I know. Yeah, for one more year at least. We can talk about him later, though. But, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, just having 13 players only being $3 million over the cap should make the Bulls a pretty comfortably able to use that $9.6 million non-taxpayer MLE and then bring in one other guy via, I don't know, a trade, a minimum, a biannual exception. They'll have a variety of choices. And so, yeah, not the most exciting financial situation, but still a lot of flexibility for Chicago. Do either of you guys have any opening thoughts?
Wait, why is Otto Porter good?
I like him. I think he's their best player when he's healthy.
He's making a lot, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's that good, but he is really good. I think he can be part of like a really good team.
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
You asked us something? Will you say it again? Did you ask us like on our thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I just asked if you guys had anything to say as like an opening statement before we break into the Bulls.
My opening statement is that I am excited to learn more.
All right. So I actually think the Bulls are in an interesting space, at least in my opinion, because they actually have a lot of interesting young pieces. I think you could make a case that Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, and Wendell Carter, you could make a case that management could view all or none of those guys as starters on the next great Bulls team. And so I think this is a season where it's going to be very important for the new front office and the new GM and Arturas Karnisovich to just kind of not we generally think of scouting in terms of scouting players to bring on to the team, but I think it's going to be very important for them to kind of figure out which players that are currently on the Bulls are going to be an important part of the future in Chicago. Because especially last year when they were playing that just terrible offensive system under Jim Boylen, and then also I think there's a lot to be said for preaching effort on defense, but Jim Boylen, I think, just went a little overboard on that end and just had his players exerting way too much energy defensively. I think Jim Boylen really probably retarded the growth of a lot of these young players in Chicago. So it's just going to be interesting to see how they come. It's not funny.
No.
I just I lost my train of thought, but mainly I think there's just going to be a lot of internal evaluating going on this year. So I think there's no better place to start than just doing a little bit of a round table on some of the young talent and kind of seeing how we all feel with it. The one guy who I'm most confident in saying is safe, and there's absolutely very little chance that this guy gets traded, is Coby White. I think there's a bright future for him on the Bulls.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's sick. Is there do I sound weird when I'm talking? It sounded like there's some crunch. Is
No, not at all. Not from the others.
Okay, so that's good. But also I wanted to mention one more thing. So my sister, her roommate in high school freshman year or sophomore year was dating Cristiano Felicio.
No. Stop.
Yeah, she I think she met him overseas. Yeah.
Did she drop the bag?
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know really what happened to him because my sister never really talked to her after, but it was just wild that they were talking. Because I think he flew her out places and stuff, to come meet her. Yeah,
That's lit.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get flown out.
Crazy.
Cristiano, I'm gonna hit him up.
But yeah, sorry to interrupt. I was looking at the Bulls roster. I'm like, wait a second, I remember that name.
Yeah, no problem. They're definitely worth it. But I think it's interesting for Coby White that the new general manager is a guy from Denver, because I actually see Coby White almost as that sort of Jamal Murray type. And it was very interesting to me when they did the press conference, the opening statements from Karnisovich, and he said he viewed Coby White as sort of that score first guard, and he'd like to put a playmaker alongside Coby. So obviously very different player from Jamal Murray, but similar archetype in that they're both that sort of point guard, but score first. Jamal is able to use a lot of his strength and physicality to get his shots off, and Coby White is much more shifty and uses change of pace.
That's that first step, right?
Yeah, just that he's probably one of the quickest guys in the league, and he definitely knows how to use that to his advantage, which makes him a very exciting player to watch. He did have some growing pains, but he just absolutely caught fire off of
He had some good games, didn't he?
Yeah, especially after the All-Star break in March and February. And
we're talking about Coby?
Yeah, and he eventually went on to take Tomas Satoransky's starting job away, at least for one game. So Coby's definitely a guy who came on late in the season, and it'll be exciting to see how he carries that over into next year. A guy who I'm starting to worry might be getting pushed out of Chicago is one Zach LaVine.
Yeah. I don't know.
But didn't he wait?
Hey, really fast. Did the Marksman have a down year?
Oh yeah, he was injured a lot, but he was pretty miserable in the time he did play.
Okay.
But I think he might be another one of the guys on the Bulls who was just sort of a victim of Jim Boylen's terrible offense. I don't think last year was a representative sample for him.
Yeah.
He's not coaching them anymore, right?
No, yeah, they brought in Billy Donovan from
Billy.
the Thunder.
Oh, that's right.
Zach LaVine and Jim Boylen butted heads major, right?
Oh yeah, I think Jim Boylen and pretty much everybody on the Bulls roster butted heads.
But I remember the videos Zach LaVine yelling at him on the court.
Yeah.
Shoot, really?
Yeah. But I mean, maybe he'll work better with that team with him gone. Maybe not.
With Boylan gone.
Yeah.
Oh, I 100% agree. Even if Billy Donovan isn't as good of a basketball mind as Jim Boylan, he's just so much better at managing players that I think it'll make a world of difference.
Wait.
But Zach LaVine is a guy who I think is probably, in my opinion, a little bit overrated around the league. I think that a lot of NBA general managers might value him more highly than I do. And that's why I think he actually makes a very interesting trade candidate for the Bulls this year. Because I think they see Kobe White as sort of their Zach LaVine of the future.
Yeah.
And instead of putting Kobe White and Zach LaVine together, I think they'd prefer to put a more pass first and maybe even a defensive oriented player next to Kobe White. And so we'll get into this when we do the Bucks later, but I actually think Zach LaVine to the Bucks could sort of be a move that makes a lot of sense. And so I guess we'll talk about that when we get to Milwaukee, but I definitely think Zach LaVine could be somebody to keep an eye on for maybe being moved at some point.
What's a good fit?
The Bucks.
I think the Bucks are
really?
Bucks are one of the few competitive teams who I think he's a good fit for, just because I don't think his weaknesses or shortcomings on defense will be exploited there so much. Obviously, he'll be playing alongside plenty of other capable defenders, especially with Giannis and Brook Lopez kind of walling the paint. If Zach LaVine gets beat on defense, it won't be as big of a deal there as it would be in some other competitors.
You have Giannis in the regular season, but not in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's the one thing I'd worry about for Zach LaVine in the playoffs is when teams really start hunting mismatches. If Zach LaVine could kind of be the weakest link, sort of like how we saw with Kemba Walker when Jimmy Butler kind of kept going at him.
Well, yeah, that's facts too. But I just meant Giannis usually tends to take the playoffs off. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We'll have to see.
Wasn't his ankle killing him though?
Giannis?
Yeah.
Not really.
I think the Heat were killing him. I think that's what was killing him.
But wasn't he hurt?
Well, he got hurt at the end of the playoffs, but I don't think that's anything that we have to worry about carrying over into next season.
Yeah.
And then
but didn't Channon just say he takes the playoffs off?
He was trash. Moving on.
Yeah, he's had a couple disappointing playoffs in a row now. Even before his ankle got messed up this year, he wasn't playing the best.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that later. So yeah, Zach LaVine, a guy I think could possibly be on his way out of Chicago. He's on a good deal too, even though I don't like Zach LaVine. I think that the 2 years he has left on his deal at $36 million isn't horrific value. So for sure, movable contract, for sure, a guy that'll be able to help out some teams. Just a quick tangent. I think that Zach LaVine archetype of ball dominant, average efficiency, score first guards, I think those players tend to be very, very overrated, because although they can raise your floor and get you high quality shots, even when the rest of your offensive system and personnel isn't amazing, I think when you put them on a good team, they kind of can sort of, I don't know what the word is, they just can take shots away and kind of be a bit of an anchor.
I'd like to see him I think if you just throw him on a defensively strong team, he could be good. But I definitely could imagine him doing what you're saying and just kind of killing the offense.
Yeah. A thing I thought about for Zach LaVine in terms of just a good fit was actually the Miami Heat, because everybody knows Zach LaVine is a very hard worker. So I think he'd fit in well with the Heat culture, and he could sort of, they could hide him in the zone. They hide Tyler Hero and Goran Dragic just in sort of the corner of the 2-3 zone. But I mean, like I alluded to, they already have Tyler Hero on the rookie contract. So I see no reason for them to be investing resources in Zach.
Yeah.
Especially when they're trying to preserve that 2021 cap space. It just doesn't really make sense from a roster standpoint. It makes sense from a fit standpoint, though.
Yeah.
Facts.
There are a lot of murmurs mostly just fans who want to see Zach LaVine on the Lakers. That's one that I can't really.
I could
get
see
behind.
that.
You can.
I could.
I don't really like that one quite so much.
Dude, I think that would be dope.
He reminds me of Kuzma in like.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. I just would you guys really like to see someone who's that like shot happy next to LeBron and AD?
Well, I think it might put him in his place. Like I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, I just kind of want to see what he would do in that position.
Dude, could you imagine the feeds he would get? He would go crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. When you've presumably, I guess you're trading Kuzma, so that's one less mouth to feed.
What about like the Clippers?
I don't really see how a Clippers deal would get done.
Yeah.
I don't really see the matching. They don't really have the matching salary for it. I mean, you'd have to probably include Beverly, or maybe I just don't really think it makes sense from a financial standpoint. But
what about Knicks?
Oh yeah, for sure. I could definitely see the Knicks doing some trade for Zach LaVine. The Knicks are kind of
total Knicks player, actually.
That's a total absolutely.
That's a perfect fit.
I would not be surprised in the least to see the Knicks do something out of pocket to bring in Zach LaVine.
Here's what he's gonna do. He's gonna go to the Knicks. He's gonna average like 29 points per game.
Yep.
You're gonna win 11 games.
Yep.
He's gonna have like 7 dunks a game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. Also.
Yeah, and 30 shots a game. So,
what's his strong suit?
Shooting. I would say shooting. Athleticism.
But he obviously has crazy athleticism.
Yeah,
he is a good shooter though.
Yes, the shooting is the main thing. The athleticism is cool, but for some reason, the athleticism I don't really think translates into anything amazing. Because usually, when you think of athleticism, you think of like good finishing, but he's a below average finisher at the rim.
No, yeah, it's like for me, when I think of like an athletic player, the archetype I picture is like a Jeremy Grant type of player, a guy who flies around and is long and plays defense.
That's your idea of an athletic player?
Yeah, because Zach LaVine kind of just has like useless athleticism except for the dunk contest.
Well, another player who I think has athleticism similar to Zach LaVine but uses it way better is De'Aaron Fox.
He's so fast.
Yeah, and then athleticism, it doesn't really help him on defense either. Like, I think he tries on defense and gives effort, but he's just so clueless about where to be and like angles.
Like me in City League.
Yeah, he just gets backdoored so often. He doesn't really know when or where to pay attention to. So I don't really know what to think about him there.
I was a floor general in City League. Coming down your left. Drop.
Yeah, I could so see that. Did you wear headband? You look like a headband kind of guy.
Man bun. If I wasn't wearing a headband, I had the braids holding my hair back.
Really? Nice. Do you miss the high school ballin' days?
Not as much as I miss City League.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't play. That's right.
Yeah, that's why I played City League last year. But yeah,
it's hilarious. You guys took the title, huh?
Why are you even asking? They ended because we were winning by like 30 points with like 6 minutes left, and then the other team just stopped trying. Like one of the players, like their best player, went and took his shoes off and went and sat on the bleachers. And then we were just like shooting half court shots, and then like 3 minutes left, the refs just called the game.
Oh my god!
There's an asterisk next to your title now because they could have come back. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. I can't believe one of the kids pulled an Odell and took their shoes off before the game ended. Bro, Lane Gibney played in like Romeo's one game.
Oh god, dude. God. I was injured in the championship. I had so much.
Oh, you pushed through?
No, I did. I got injured in the playoffs, and it was like, oh no, what's gonna happen now? The only game we lost was when I wasn't there. But so I got injured, and then championship game, I'm at school all day, popping ibuprofen. Like I'm like, I gotta play. Like I'm playing. My ankle's swollen purple. I get home, wrap that thing up with so much athletic tape. I can't move it. It's literally like immobile. Get it in my shoe, and I'm out there hitting threes. Got her done.
That's awesome, dude.
Anyways.
Freaking stud.
Yeah, so anyway, if I can just go back to the Bulls for a second. The last
just for a second. But then we're gonna talk about City League.
Yeah, okay. The last two players on the Bulls I just wanted to bring up briefly were Larry Markkanen and Wendell Carter junior
Mhm.
who both have fought injuries for the past, or for pretty much all of their young careers. I actually like them both as individual players, but they were pretty atrocious together, and I don't think they'll be a good fit together for the foreseeable rest of their careers. And so I think it's time for the Bulls to look into making some sort of minor or some sort of change to their front court. I don't necessarily know if that means letting go of Carter or Markkanen, but I'm just curious to hear your guys' thoughts on those two guys.
Okay, so Lauri Markkanen, injuries, correct? What's the rest of his contract looking like?
He's actually extension eligible this offseason, which we can
Oh,
talk
so
about.
that means this offseason?
Yeah. So he's going to the last year of his rookie scale contract.
Oh, this upcoming year is going to be his last.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
rookies
okay,
are
that's
eligible.
good though, right? Or do you extend him in the hope that he gets like his stock goes up?
I don't think I would extend him this summer. So
But like you won't get it. He'll just leave, and then I guess you'll have more space.
he can't really leave because he'll be a restricted free agent. But he could leave. Like but they'll have team control over him.
Do you think teams will like him even though he like didn't have the best year? You know what I mean?
Yeah. In fact, I wrote down two teams who I thought he'd be a terrific fit on.
Okay.
And that's the New Orleans Pelicans as sort of a front court mate with Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
And then also the Phoenix Suns. I think he makes
that'd be cool.
for those two.
Oh, I can see him on the Suns all day. He was kind of nice, and then he kind of fell off a little bit. Was that because of injuries?
Yeah, and I don't really think Jim Boylan used him to the best of his abilities, really.
Dude, that guy, how did he get a coaching job?
He's part of the Popovich family, which
Bro, I just looked up a picture of him. If I walked by the street, I wouldn't know.
yeah, just a regular bald guy.
You
Yeah.
can say that about a lot of coaches, though.
That's actually true, honestly. I don't think I would recognize Terry Stotts.
Oh, come on. He's like
You'd be like,
6'7".
what?
He's tall.
Yeah. Is he like 6'4"?
No, I think he's like 6'6", 6'7".
Shoot. Oh my God. Yeah. You know what's crazy? I didn't realize like Steve Kerr, he's actually like a big guy, like decently sized.
Really?
Yeah. Right? Isn't he like 6'2"?
Well, yeah, he played in the NBA.
You're right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like when he's around you just think of him as being like a normal sized guy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. It's weird.
Yeah.
Same with Steph. Steph gets but he's a large man compared to most people.
Yeah.
Dame's actually kind of an average size guy.
Dame is an average size guy. I always thought the 6'2" that they
Dame's
listed him
above
as was
average.
generous.
What?
I always thought it was kind of generous that they listed him as 6'2".
No, it is. I'm pretty sure he's actually like 6 foot or 6'1".
Is
Yeah,
he
he's
actually?
He's like
Yeah,
our height, basically. But
Yeah, you see him like meet people, and he doesn't look like an NBA player.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what's weird? I forget who it was, but how tall is Zach Collins?
Oh, like 7 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird though, because like this one girl posted a picture like with him, and I saw it. Yeah, Janae. And she didn't like seem too crazy tall.
Name drop on here? That's crazy.
Huh?
Just name drop on the pod. But I saw that picture. He looked tall.
Yeah, but it didn't look too unbelievable.
Really?
I guess it's maybe because he's not as bodied up as some guys, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because like Shaq makes people look like this big.
Taco.
This big. Yeah.
Okay.
Is
Who's
it bad that you name drop people? If anything, it's like, dude, you're gonna be famous one day.
That's lucky facts. Channon at Unchannon.
like.
Hey, Wendell Carter.
How's my boy Denzel Valentine? Because I remember when I picked Michigan State to go to the finals or the NCAA championship, and then they get knocked out first round.
Yeah.
Wasn't that his team?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
He went to Michigan State, so maybe.
Yeah, I swear to God, it was his team that got knocked out first round to some Cinderella story.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee State.
I don't.
Yeah, what? You remember that, but you don't remember like You are something else, Jonah Willard.
I don't
Anyway-
like Wendell Valentine.
Yeah, anyway, Denzel, yeah, he's in free agency. I think he'll be able to get another contract just because he's like one of those like guys who can play the 3 and the 4 and has good positional size. But he definitely hasn't shown a lot in his time with the Chicago Bulls. So
Kind of a scrub.
yeah, I bet he'll get like Channon. Do you think like anywhere between 4 to 6 million would sound about right for him?
I would think around like 400,000 to 600,000 would be appropriate. No, but yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know much about Wendell Carter though.
Yeah, Wendell Carter is another guy who I actually really like him a lot. I think he's gonna be like the next Al Horford because he's a little bit undersized for a center, but he's a good defender. Like nonetheless, he can play. He doesn't get bodied by guys bigger than him. Like he can play on the block pretty well. He can switch out and guard on the perimeter better than most centers can. The one thing I worry about with him is he's not a very good rebounder and he's injury prone. And so those are two things that aren't great when you're talking about a guy who's supposed to be your franchise center. But I also think there's some interesting tools on offense, especially tools that he didn't get to show with Jim Boylan. Jim Boylan just wouldn't let him shoot at all, but he actually can hit the threes. We saw that in his rookie summer league. And I think he shot a few threes, if I'm not mistaken, during his rookie year with the Bulls. But
Not pretty.
not pretty.
Yeah, he was shooting 20% from 3.
Ooh, yeah,
Jim Boylan.
that's not ideal. I think I'd let him. I think I'd let him shoot a few if I were Billy Donovan, but I definitely think there's some untapped potential there with Wendell.
And hopefully Billy Donovan is trying to tap that.
I hope. Yeah, definitely.
Hey,
guess-
what's the 5 and 6 million GT until June 30th, 2021 mean for Thaddeus and Thomas?
Oh, that's how much of their contract is guaranteed and when the guarantee date is. So basically, the Bulls could wait.
Why are they the only ones with that? Just how their contracts work out?
Yeah, the other contracts are all guaranteed. Those two are not guaranteed for their last year, though.
Wait, so like Zach LaVine is guaranteed 19 mil. He got that this year?
Yeah, and then he's got 2 years left on his contract.
Dang. It's a lot of moolah.
Not
No
really.
one's there for the long haul, huh?
Well, I mean,
Right? Because this doesn't go no one's really there. I mean, yeah.
that's just when the cap sheet ends, because this is mostly meant as like I only uploaded it for this year, so it's just like
Oh, got it,
for this offseason. But they've got some, like, obviously they're rookie players. Like Kobe is going to be around for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
But anyway, now that we've discussed this roster, like, let's talk about how we're going to fix it if we're the Chicago.
There's some guys here that are good pieces, I think.
I agree. I actually think that they have such a well-rounded team. Like, you could make the case that they have their starter at every position, especially if Otto Porter Jr. in the brief stints that he is actually ready and available. So I think really what the Bulls should be doing this offseason is targeting more polished, established NBA players who can really make the young talent around them sing. So yeah, exactly. So
maybe they should look to pick up one of the centers on the market right now.
I actually had an idea
Like
of a
Tice?
center. Not Tice, but a different Boston center.
Huh?
Tice is bad.
I thought you said Tice is nice. I was like, oh, that's cute. That's nice.
I would never say that about him.
Wow.
I had an idea for another center on Boston they could go after, and that is Enes Kanter, who I think
There you go. That's good.
I think he's going to be picking up that $5 million player option. I think Boston views Robert Williams and Daniel Tice, and I guess Grant Williams, as ahead of Enes Kanter in sort of the center pecking order.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and since they're so deep into the tax and such an expensive team, I could definitely see them trying to get off of a guy like Enes Kanter, and I actually think he would help the Bulls quite a bit. I think he can play backup center, definitely play alongside Markkanen. You could try him alongside Carter. I don't necessarily know how that would work, But the Bulls front court, they were the worst rebounding front court in the league when Lowry and Carter.
Fantastic rebounder.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, is
yeah,
Tice not a free agent?
I don't believe so.
I was thinking of Baines.
Baines is a free agent. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
So when Markkanen and Carter are on the floor, terrible rebounding. They're also extremely injury prone, which is why I think it makes sense to have competent big man minutes. And Enes Kanter will provide that. And he's one of the best offensive rebounders and one of the best rebounders in general in the league. So I think he makes a lot of sense for them. I think if maybe they sent out, I don't know, like a Ryan, what if they sent out like what about a sign and trade with Denzel Valentine? You send him,
get him out of there.
and then I bet if you send out Denzel Valentine at $4.5 million, which might be a little bit of a haircut for him. So I don't know if he agrees to that.
What does that mean?
It means that just might be an underpay. What about I don't know how the money works here. What about Luke Cornett?
You're telling me, dude.
What about Luke? Yeah, I don't. I would have to think through the actual financial parts of the trade a little bit more, but I like the idea of Enes Kanter becoming a Chicago Bull. Sorry, I should have prepared something. That was terrible.
Hey, dude, it's okay.
Nerlens Noel. Talk to me a little about Nerlens, because I remember he was hot coming out of college, right?
Yeah, on his NBA contracts have been very disappointing.
And he's on the Thunder. He was on the.
Yeah, he was on the Thunder. He's a free agent now.
He's only 26.
Yeah, and
He's kind of good.
Yeah, he could be
maybe you don't give him. I mean, you can maybe get him for cheap. I don't know.
Yeah, you could definitely get him for cheap. I don't know if he'll be a guy the Bulls look at, but
Ooh, low key Hassan Whiteside. I mean, they're not really gonna be able to sign him. Low key be a good bet.
What about Dwight?
I think Dwight's gonna go play for a contender. I don't think Dwight would come to Chicago.
Yeah, that's actually facts.
Whiteside could be an interesting one. I just don't know if I don't know what the Bulls are sort of looking for in a center.
Yeah.
What about Drummond?
Drummond's going to opt into his player option for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that 29 mil. I think
so. That means he's going to be backing Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Enes Kanter is kind of the best fit on here.
Yeah, that's sort of the one I like. We could look at there weren't any in free agency that caught my mind as great fits for the Chicago team. In terms of the draft, do you guys want to sort of transition to the draft?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so the Bulls have the 4th pick, and there's
what?
Yeah.
So they could get lucky with someone if somebody makes a stupid pick.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of talk from like draft experts that the Bulls should be looking to trade their pick, and I actually really disagree.
For what?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like there's some pretty good upside with some of like the top 5 guys.
Yeah, I pretty much disagree with it. I think I actually like the Bulls' position at number 4 because I think there's a clear 3-man top tier in this draft. So Wiseman, Edwards, and Ball. So the Bulls either get lucky and have one of those guys fall to them, or they get their pick out of everybody else in the draft. And I actually think there are some great fits for the Bulls.
Are you going to do a mock?
Do you think we should for a podcast one?
I think it would be good to give people an idea, especially me.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because I besides the top 3 guys and a few other guys scattered in there, I don't really know much else regarding the prospects.
Yeah, let's do it. That would be fun. So,
who's this guy from Israel?
Oh, Deni Avdija.
Yeah, that's dope.
Deni Avdija was actually going to be the first guy I brought up for the Bulls. Because
what's his name?
Deni Avdija, and he played in Israel for a team called Maccabi Tel Aviv. And
how do you spell that name?
Dennys.
Really?
No.
Hey, I just typed that in my phone.
I think it's
It's
D. Wait, what?
Denny's.
It's DENI.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Hey, okay, seriously. Okay, did I see something about the Warriors worked him out or something?
Yeah, the Warriors have been sending out smoke
He's
screens.
19.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. They want him to be Luka Doncic.
He even wears the wristband like Luka.
Dude, I look-y want to name my kid Luka. I like that name. That's all topic, but I look-y like that name.
Luka, yeah, the Warriors did sign him. I feel like we just keep throwing poor Jonah off track, and he's getting frustrated.
No, I'm not. I don't get frustrated.
He likes it.
No, I don't get frustrated.
Okay, who's this other guy? A center projected.
Is it Onyeka Okongwu?
That's the one. Oh, he's
How do
kind
you
of.
spell that?
Onyeka.
Ennys. Don't you like him, huh?
I'm not the biggest Okongwu fan.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I think he's getting a little overhyped because of how well Bam Adebayo.
Oh, that's the
played.
SC guy.
Yeah, he played for USC, and I think people want Onyeka Okongwu to be the next Bam Adebayo, and I don't see it at all. So
I'm just not really into undersized bigs, personally.
yeah, I think undersized bigs who play well are sort of like the exception and not the rule at this point. But
Onyeka.
anyway, for the Bulls, I kind of made two lists of players. The first one was just guys who I thought would be a good fit, and the second one was a list I made regarding Karnišovic's statement that they want to draft a primary ball handler. And so the guys I actually liked on the Bulls were Deni Avdija, Isaac Okoro, and Tyrese Halliburton. And the point guard / primary ball handlers I thought could be interesting. I just had two names down there, and that is Killian Hayes and Tyrese Halliburton. So I think any of those four guys could be fair game.
This Tyrese dude 6'5"?
Yeah, from Iowa State. I think a comp for him would be sort of Lonzo Ball, because he's a terrific passer, a good feel for the game. But similarly to Lonzo Ball, he doesn't really have the athleticism or the speed to break down guys off the dribble and sort of create offense as a lead ball handler. And his jump shot, while being very effective, is sort of a weird release that takes a long time to get off. He shoots it very strangely, but I mean, it goes in, like I said. So
Interesting.
So I think he's sort of a guy who would fit awesome next to a guy like Kobe White or Zach LaVine, who enjoys creating shots for himself and has the ball in his hands. And Halliburton could be more of the distributor on offense, as well as a guy. And this is another thing where I think the scouting report kind of breaks down about Tyrese Halliburton. A lot of people are saying he's going to be able to guard the best point guards and the best lead guards in the NBA. I don't actually see him having the lateral speed to be able to do that, but I think he'll stand up terrifically against the stronger shooting guards. I think if you put him against a guy I don't know, I think if you had him guard Damian Lillard and then had him guard Luka Doncic or James Harden, I think he'd go up better against a Harden or a Luka, or a guy who uses physicality instead of speed. So that's kind of my.
What do you think about because the CBS mock draft has the Warriors trading their pick to the Knicks, and then the Warriors end up picking Denny at 8.
Well,
I think that's not a smart move, bro.
For the Warriors or the Knicks?
I think the Warriors should get a big man.
Yeah, I think they should go for Wiseman. I assume in that trade you mentioned to me, I bet they're getting Mitchell Robinson, right?
I think it just mentioned something about the Warriors would just try to find a trade that they liked, and then they would.
It didn't say anything about Mitchell Robinson in the trade with the Knicks.
I don't believe so. No.
Be honest, man.
Who are they getting from the Knicks then?
Did you say be honest?
Be honest.
No, it literally says a trade here makes sense for both teams as long as Golden State finds a deal it likes. That's literally all it says. Because the Warriors are sitting at 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it says.
Well,
I'll send the link.
sounds like a
You want it.
terrible article, but I'm
Write that, Kellan?
but
Did you write that article?
Yeah. Okay, my NBA knowledge, I wouldn't even have come up with the Knicks to trade to that spot. Do you think the Knicks should try and get LaMelo Ball if they could?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes
Little
sense.
RJ Barrett LaMelo Ball combo.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to hit a 3-pointer all season, but so I guess if I were the Bulls, and we're going to go off the assumption that Wiseman, Edwards, Ball go 1, 2, 3 in some order, I would probably take Tyrese Halliburton just because I think he's a safe bet, and I think he'll be able to immediately make a very positive impact next to either White or Levine in the backcourt. So I just think it makes a lot of sense in that regard.
Yeah. I'm not sold on the Denny's guy. And it seems like that the
What
guy
did you just say?
about,
Oh, the Denny guy?
yeah, he would fit better with Kobe White too.
Yeah, and the thing I like about Avdia is that Karnisevich is, and like the Nuggets general, or the Nuggets organization in general, has just been so good at scouting those European players. Obviously, the main example being Jokic, but I think Avdia would make sense. Did you say you're not sold on Avdia?
Yeah.
You are sold on him?
No, I'm not. I'm saying
Who's
they
Ogdia?
should take that Halibut guy.
Halliburton?
I'm not sold on Avdia either. When I watched the film on Denny Avdia, I saw Kyle Anderson, who is not as good on defense. So
Dude, European players are risky, bro. Sometimes they're absolute unicorns, but
yeah.
Yeah, I will never forget when the Knicks drafted oh my God,
unicorn.
Kristaps.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, moo.
Yeah, everyone's booing. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
see? Yeah, never mind.
So I think my big board, if I'm Chicago, would probably look like Halliburton, Okoro, Killian Hayes, Denny Avdia. Those would be the 4 guys I'd look at very closely.
What about Obi?
Yeah, definitely not Obi. Because Obi Toppin, we talked about how their front court already isn't the strongest defensively, and Obi would do nothing to remedy that. I don't really think he fits in on this Bulls team. I'm not as big of an Obi Toppin hater as some people are. I just don't like him in this particular situation.
So you want Precious, huh?
For
Achiuwa?
For the Bulls?
No, for the Blazers.
No, definitely not.
Because that's what it has here, and I thought I remember you mentioning you.
No, I was saying that he's been mocked to the Blazers in a lot of the drafts I've been seeing. But
you're not down with that?
I liked Precious Achiuwa better on the Blazers when his name was Nazir Little. So
did you guys pass up on him last year or something?
What?
Did you guys pass up on that guy last year or something?
Nazir Little?
Yeah.
No, he's on our team. I'm just saying that.
Oh, he is.
The Blazers already have enough power forward.
Oh, you wanted Nazir?
Yeah, I'm just saying the Blazers have enough power forwards with good physical tools, but no sort of refined offensive game. We don't need.
Oh, facts.
Okay. And so I guess just to wrap up on the Bulls, I wrote down a list of free agents who I thought could help the team. I think I don't know if I'd necessarily be looking for guys to replace the young talent the Bulls have on the roster as much as just, I think in order to evaluate the guys they have on roster and see who they want to stick around, it's going to be important to put them in a situation where we can really see their full potential and full capabilities. And I think in order to do that, the Chicago has to do their best to surround the young guys with veterans who will just kind of keep the ball moving, play solid defense, just sort of not take anything off the table. So for the $9.6 million MLE, here are the guys that I kind of liked for the Bulls. Joe Harris would be the first one, who I think the chance of this happening is very low just because he's returning to the Nets. The Nets really have no reason not to match whatever offer he gets. And even if he does leave, I wouldn't see him leaving from Brooklyn to a team with really no high-end upside like the Bulls. So this was more of a pipe dream than anything. I think bringing back Chris Dunn is definitely a priority for Chicago. He was a huge tone setter and culture setter on defense. I think he led the NBA in steals, if I'm not mistaken. He's an absolute ball hawk. Like, he just can't dribble the ball in front of that guy. He's not good offensively, but I just think he's just brings such a high level at that one particular skill that he's a useful addition on the roster, especially he had a great season this year. So Jay Crowder was a guy who I'd try to go after if I'm the Bulls. Again, I think Jay Crowder is probably
I feel like Jay Crowder is good on any team. He makes any team better.
100%. I think Jay Crowder is probably going to sign with a team that's a little bit more competitive than the Bulls are, but I think the Bulls would love to have him. Glenn Robinson III
wasn't that a Warrior?
Yeah, he started last season on the Warriors. They traded him to Philadelphia. But
did he go with
Alec?
Yeah.
But I think he would make sense on the Chicago team. Just a guy who can shoot it and play defense. He's one of those lower end 3-and-D players that could probably help any team. So
yeah, he wasn't bad.
No. Yeah, so he's definitely a guy I'd look at if I were Chicago. One restricted free agent who I think if you threw this guy like a $6 million offer sheet, I don't think Boston would match it. What do you guys think about Brad Wanamaker maybe on Chicago?
Point guard? Is he a point guard?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, shoot.
What's Kobe White play?
I think he considers himself a point guard, but I bet the Bulls consider him more of a shooting guard.
Okay.
Especially if they can draft that one dude. He could definitely bump him to 2 guard, I think.
Halliburton or that guy?
Yeah, Halliburton. I think Halliburton and White are both definitely combo guards. But yeah, I think Brad Wanamaker and the next guy I'm going to say, DeAnthony Melton, just kind of shore up the defensive fortitude of the Bulls backcourt. And so, yeah, the last 2 guys I had were defense first wings, and who I think could play almost like the role Denzel Valentine played on the team this year, just sort of into the bench wing players, maybe like 12 minutes a game. Sterling Brown and Torrey Craig.
Beats me. I don't know. Probably.
I think I don't think they'll get Torrey Craig just because I don't think he's going to be worth any sort of offer sheet that the Nuggets won't match. And so I think if they get Craig, they'll have to overpay him. And I think overpaying Craig won't be a good move for the Bulls. Sterling Brown is a guy I actually could see, sort of a Midwest native guy. But yeah, these are mainly guys if they just strike out on the first few people I named. So
is defense a priority for the Bulls?
Oh, I would say so, especially when it depends on what direction they decide to go in.
What?
It's honestly kind of hard to say just because of, like, I feel like you don't even really know what their offense looks like. Just like, I feel like just kind of crumpled under Jim Boylan.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it depends on too, like, it's hard to know like where they're going with this team. Like, if you want to play Zach LaVine and Kobe White together, then I definitely think improving the defensive viability of your front court is going to have to be something you look into a lot. But if you're going to play White and like a guy like Halliburton, or I mentioned Wanamaker together, and then you're going to bring Levine, either trade him or bring him off the bench, then I think you can get a little more lenient with some of the defensive capabilities of the guys you had around him.
Yeah. And so this is more a question for me. It sounds really stupid, but what does Billy Donovan bring to the table that'll change the like kind of direction of the Bulls franchise?
More than anything, I think they just kind of wanted a guy who had coaching experience before, who they just knew wouldn't mess it up. Like, I think after the Jim Boylan thing was such a disaster, they just wanted to hire a guy who like had a lot of respect and like was just kind of known as a complete professional.
He's worked with hotheads too, Westbrook and stuff.
Yeah. So he's like good at managing players and sort of managing egos. Although I guess you could say he didn't really do a good job of managing Westbrook's ego because him and Paul George both got traded. So I don't know. I think they just kind of wanted a grown up in the room. I don't think they were really looking to make a big swing with this hire.
I feel like, because like he kind of pieced together a good season with the Oklahoma City too.
Yeah, 100%. I think that more is due to the coaching job of Chris Paul than the coaching job of Billy Donovan. But I think his equity in the league is at an all-time high, to be sure.
Yeah. Okay. So that wraps it up for the Chicago.
Bulls. Unless you guys have anything left to say.
No, not really. I asked all my questions.
I got stuff to say about the Bucks, though.
All right, let's get into it.
Is it positive, Channon?
No, it's not.
Are you going to start with the financial breakdown of the big market Milwaukee Bucks?
The critically acclaimed Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, this is actually going to be a bit of an interesting one compared to the Bulls, just because the Bucks are in a. I have no idea what they're going to do because there's
their roster.
There's been a lot made of the fact that they told Giannis Antetokounmpo and pretty much the Bucks fan base in general that they're going to be willing to spend into the luxury tax this year, and they definitely have the mechanisms to make that happen if they want to back up their words. But I think there are going to be a couple, and so like I guess let's just start with the basics. They're over the cap right now, but they're about $15 million under the luxury tax, but that's before they guarantee Ersan Ilyasova, and that's before they bring back any of their free agents. So I think that there will be a couple important inflection points this offseason for Milwaukee. The first of those is guaranteeing Ersan Ilyasova's.
I like him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his $7 million contract. If they do guarantee it, and if they do bring Ilyasova back on that number, I think it's more likely he gets used in a trade than anything else. But I just think like committing to that $7 million salary, whether it's to have Ilyasova or another guy, will be a firm signal that the Bucks ownership is in fact willing to spend. The next inflection point, and I think this will end up impacting their free agency almost more than anything else, is will Wesley Matthews come back on bird rights? Because
on what?
On his non-bird rights. Because we saw Wesley Matthews be not only a starter, but an important part of this Bucks team last year. Mm-hmm. And he was playing for the veteran minimum, which for him, I'm not sure off the top of my head how many years of service he has in the NBA, but he was making $1.8 million. And so
he's poor.
Yeah. So the non-bird extension for him would be a 120% raise.
He was drafted in 2009.
Drafted in 2009. Okay.
Yeah.
So then he's making the 10-year vet min. So the 120% raise off of that would kick his salary up to about $3.1 million, if I'm not mistaken. It'll be about $3.1 million. And so if he chooses to come back on that, then the Bucks will have their full MLE to pursue whichever outside free agents they choose. But if Wesley Matthews doesn't come back using his bird rights, then all of a sudden the Bucks have to focus that exception towards Wesley Matthews, because I think he's more important than any external free agent they could go after. So I think Wesley Matthews' decision to either come back on his $3 million deal or to opt out and try to seek even more money, I think that's going to be one of the most important storylines to follow for the Bucks.
Or what if he comes back to Portland?
Ooh, I don't know. What do you think about that, Channon?
I don't know. We kind of don't really need that, like a player of his size, but kind of.
I love the storyline aspect of it, though. I was a big Wesley Matthews guy when he played for us.
I liked him too. He was good.
So before we get into it, do any of you guys have thoughts about the Bucks?
Channon, you can go.
Here's what I think they need to do. I don't know what his contract looks like, but I think they need to part ways with Eric Bledsoe.
Ooh, yeah, I'm going to get into that.
I think they need more of an offensive threat at point guard.
Yeah, Bledsoe's making $16.8 million for this year and the year after, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I think they need someone who can go up and put the ball in the hoop.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I guess
Wait. My thoughts is that a first name, like first team, all first name candidate is Thanasis. That's like when you think of like testosterone and like a man name, you think of Thanasis. That's beast mode right there. Thanasis. Do you know Thanasis and Giannis? But between the both of them, they made like $26 million. 25 of which was Giannis's.
Yeah, Giannis is overpaid.
Hey, wait, Channon, who wins 1v1? LeBron or Giannis?
LeBron.
That was a really like confident answer. You took like 10.
It is confident. Giannis is only good in the fast break.
so. I guess to steer the conversation back towards this offseason, would you guys that should be like that should be my motto on the show, to steer the conversation.
That's what you're here to direct us back.
But would you guys like to talk about Giannis or Eric Bledsoe trades to start out with?
Eric Bledsoe.
Okay, Eric Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe.
Because Giannis is going to go to the Warriors.
Actually, he's not. Actually going to the Portland Trailblazers.
No, we'll see.
Like
I wrote down 4 potential guys you could go after with Bledsoe. And I'm going to preface this by saying that I think all 4 cases, Bledsoe's not going to be enough by himself to land the guy I wrote down. And so I also wrote down the sort of war chest of assets that the Bucks have to kind of tack on to any Eric Bledsoe deal. And that's the Pacers first this year, which is the 24th overall pick. The Pacers' second round pick next year, the Milwaukee Bucks first round picks in 2024 or 2025, and then Dante DiVincenzo and DJ Wilson are kind of their 2 resident young guys.
you like Dante.
I like Dante.
Both of you guys like Dante.
Yeah, I like him. I like him quite a bit. I'm not sure how I like him on this Bucks team compared to certain other fits, but I'm a believer in Dante DiVincenzo.
Jeez, bro. Talking about 25 draft, bro. I'm gonna be like in that draft and stuff.
Facts. Facts.
Just show up. Hey, I have a question not related to anything. What's Peyton Pritchard like? What's his projection to fall?
Okay, to steer the conversation back to
No, I want to know. He's not a first rounder, right?
No, he's early to mid second round.
Okay, and how many total rounds are there?
2.
There's only 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a bucket.
So, Channon, do you have any trade targets that you're looking at if you're Milwaukee?
For Bledsoe?
For anybody.
For a point guard?
Any player you want.
Any player in the league?
Yeah.
But they need a point guard to replace Eric if they got rid of him, correct?
We talked about at one point CP3,
Right. Yeah.
who would make them champions. That's a complete lie. No, it's not a complete lie. It's not a lie. It's true. He would make them champions.
Do you think that the Bucks are in a position where they want to get Giannis a ring so he stays? Like
Well,
a win now kind of thing? Or do you think that's kind of it?
No, they've been trying to win now for the past 2 years. So I definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I think that.
Do you think they're feeling the pressure though?
after 2 years of settling for losing, I think this year they're going to try to win.
Yeah,
So they're gonna sell out.
the 4 guys I had written down as possible Bledsoe swaps was the first one was Evan Fournier, who has a player option with the Orlando Magic. I think that's a place where you could possibly just trade them straight up. Maybe not, but Orlando's been looking for a good point guard play for a really long time now. And Evan Fournier is expiring for them anyway, so they really have no reason to hang on to him this year. So maybe you throw in like a second or a fake.
Wait, who throws in a fifth?
The Bucks.
Really? For Fournier?
Yeah. Just because Eric Bledsoe's I feel like people view him as negative value just because he
really? I think he's okay.
Just because he's like played so badly in the last.
Wait, you think he's what, Channon?
I don't know. I felt like that would be a good straight up trade.
I agree. I think he'd help the Magic a lot, and I think he's probably worth the price tag. I just feel like people are kind of down on him because he's been so disappointing the last 2 playoffs, and he makes quite a bit of money. But I think Fournier for Bledsoe, Fournier helps the Bucks, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think he'd be good.
Wait, is he point guard?
Shooting guard / small forward. So basically like a wing player.
And he's on the Magic.
Yep, he's on the Magic. He's an elite shooter. He can like create his own shot with the ball in his hands, and he's got good positional size, so he can guard a lot of the shooting guards and even a lot of the small forwards in the NBA. So
his name's Evan Fournier.
Yeah. The next guy I had on my list is one who is
40% from the line from beyond the arc.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, he's a good shooter. The next guy I had on my list is someone who's even better than that from beyond the arc, and who's more of a point guard, I think, or more of a combo guard. He could play next to like a DiVincenzo or a George Hill, and that's Terry Rozier from the Charlotte Hornets.
He's sick.
I would like that actually.
Yeah, just because like Terry's a bucket, and he could be that sort of half court creator for them that they've really, really, really needed for the past.
So
years.
The Bucks would have to like buy out Terry's contract or something.
No, they just have to trade Eric Bledsoe for him.
Oh, okay.
And then maybe throw in in that one they definitely have to throw in some sort of pick or an asset, don't you think, Channon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you only would have Devontae after that, right?
You'd also have Eric Bledsoe.
Right. No, yeah. If you only got a pick, though, you would only have like one point guard. Correct? If you didn't receive Eric Bledsoe.
No, this is assuming you're trading Eric Bledsoe, though.
Yeah, you have to trade Eric Bledsoe to make the money work. But anyway, the next guy, I already alluded to him earlier on the show, and that's Zach LaVine. I think of all of these, Zach would be the best. He'd make the most positive impact on the Bucks.
I really like the Terry Rozier, though.
You do? Okay.
I fell in love with Terry Rozier watching him play on the Celtics.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the theme to these is just kind of guards who can shoot and play make, like guards who can shoot and dribble and score. The last one I had, a lot has been said about Chris Paul. I actually like his teammate. I think Dennis Schroeder could make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Dennis is sick. He has lockdown D.
Oh my, no, that would actually be so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so I
could see it.
Yeah, me too. Dennis is good.
Yeah, I think that one's worth looking into. So just to sum it up, Fournier, Rozier, Levine, Schroeder, and you're trading Bledsoe and probably some sort of
I don't know who my top option for that would be.
I think I like Schroeder.
I think
because he has decent defense, huh?
Yeah, he's probably maybe behind Fournier, he's the best defender on that list. Yeah. I think my dream one, if I'm Milwaukee, is Zach LaVine. And then after that, probably Schroeder or Fournier. And then Rozier would probably be my last.
Really? The thing about Rozier and Schroeder for me is they're such energy guys. Like we saw that from Schroeder this season and from Rozier in Boston. is they're just like they bring so much energy to the floor, and when the Bucks are struggling in the half court and stuff like that, I feel like they could be a player to like just step up and get something done.
Absolutely, exactly.
Zach LaVine could do that. I just haven't seen him do it like those guys yet. But
yeah, and that's been the Bucks' shortcoming the last 2 seasons, in my opinion, is just the lack of half court offense when defenses are able to shut down and kind of clamp Giannis. And they're just Eric Bledsoe and George Hill just haven't really been able to cut it in terms of running an effective offense.
Yeah, George Hill kind of older too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting up there. He's really good. He's a good defender and just an absolute laser shooter.
Yeah, he was crazy this year. Yeah.
I don't really trust him with the ball in his hands too much, but I think Rozier, Levine, Schroeder, and Fournier could all be great half-court playmakers.
Those are really good options. I hope they make one of those moves.
Yeah, the Chris Paul one, I just wanted to address it really quick just because I feel like I've seen it on Instagram and Twitter just a million times. Like, yes, Chris Paul would definitely help the Bucks, but the ones I said they just have to give up Eric Bledsoe to make the money work. To get Paul, you're probably having to give up George Hill or Son Ilyasova, maybe even Brooke Lopez. Like, when you're giving up so much of your team, I just think like the trade-off just does not become worth it.
Especially not with those options out there that we were just talking about.
Yeah, 100%. I just don't really think I can justify giving up like a third of my team to get Chris Paul.
Also, I think Bledsoe would be a really good fit on the Bulls. That Levine trade were to work out.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, I do think he would fit well next to like Kobe White. He could be the defense. Kobe could be the offense.
Out of the teams of those players, I feel like that would be the best landing place for Bledsoe.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do either of you guys have any potential targets for Milwaukee?
Not me.
No. I like all of those.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess just to steer the conversation to Giannis really quick, I think the biggest storyline for the Bucks this offseason, at least publicly, maybe behind that Chris Paul trade, is the Giannis extension talks, which I feel like that is just getting blown so far out of proportion. Maybe you guys could comment on it.
What do you mean?
Because I think when Giannis inevitably doesn't sign the Supermax with the Bucks, and I don't think he's going to sign the extension, people are going to take that as like an automatic declaration that Giannis does no longer want to be in Milwaukee. But I really think even if Giannis wants to play in the Bucks, signing that contract doesn't really make sense for him. So that's just kind of my stance. I can get into it unless you guys have something to say.
Get into it.
I'm interested. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, me either.
So basically, the Supermax extension is what we saw John Wall and Damian Lillard sign. And what it does is it adds on 5 more years to the player's contract at 35% of the cap with 8% raises. So basically, Giannis is going to be a Buck for the rest of his prime should he choose to sign the contract. But if he just waits till free agency to sign someplace, even if he chooses to stay in Milwaukee, he can get the same amount of money if he stays in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And he can sign for like 1 or 2 years. And so he basically gives up so much control to Milwaukee if he agrees to a deal. And by turning down the deal, he keeps his optionality, and he could still choose to stay in Milwaukee. But I think in this day and age, like the NBA can change so much in 5 years. I don't really think it makes sense for Giannis to lock himself in for that long, especially when he's in that KD, Anthony Davis level of player where he could suffer like an Achilles tear and still get a max contract. So I just don't really think he should be that risk averse. And
like it made sense for like Dame because like he's basically known for a while that he's gonna spend his career in Portland. Like he doesn't.
Portland's
really
sick and he likes it there.
Yeah,
100%.
the loyalty thing is super important to him, and that's just the type of player he is. But like, that's not really like, there's no point in Giannis doing that because there's no point in not leaving his options open.
Yeah,
And,
so if I'm
and also,
Giannis's-
like, you might want to move out of Milwaukee eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm Giannis's agent, I am definitely telling him not to sign that extension. Giannis has, and so here, let me get into this too.
If you're a
When he-
good agent, you're telling him not to.
Yeah. When he hits free agency in 2021, he'll be able to sign in Milwaukee for 35% of the cap, or he can sign anywhere else for 30% of the cap. That's pretty much the similar. That's the similar to what we're seeing, the similar situation to Anthony Davis or Kawhi Leonard. Like, had Anthony Davis stayed on the Pelicans or had Kawhi Leonard stayed on the Spurs, they would have been able to sign 35% maxes. But by virtue of being traded to teams where they had completed less than 3 years of service, they're basically locked in to that 30% number because they haven't been in the NBA for longer than 10 years. So that's basically the way that would work. But I don't really, I mean, when you're making that much money, like the difference between 35 million and like 38 or 40 million, it really isn't that big.
No, he's got shoe deals and stuff too.
Yeah.
100.
So-
Yeah, you don't even think about the outside stuff too that he's making. Like, he's fine.
Yeah. So I think when 2021 offseason comes around and Giannis is making a decision, I don't really think money will factor in too much.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Have you ever worn a Giannis shoe? Is that the Freak?
Oh wait, yeah, Greek Freak.
Is that what isn't the shoe called like the Freak something?
Yeah, the Freak. I think it's called the Freak.
Yeah.
I thought about getting it because I like to wear low top basketball shoes, but
Aren't they
I think-
mid?
what?
I guess you can get you there are all different types, but yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
low.
they're low tops, but I think this next IM season I'm gonna be rocking the Converse.
Oh, like Kelly Oubre?
Yeah, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I
Oh
think
yeah. Oh damn.
Are they like are you talking about like the legit ones or like the new basketball?
no, like the new Converse basketball
No,
shoes.
they
I'm not gonna be wearing like Chuck Taylors or anything.
Yeah.
No, they look dope.
Yeah.
I want to see what they look like.
Well, then look them up, man.
All right. So that's basically my Giannis spiel. I know Kellan has some stuff to say about the Giannis situation, and I think
it's a complete possibility that he ends up a Warrior one day.
And I think it's a complete possibility he ends up a Portland Trailblazer one day.
Why is that? What's your hunch on that one? I don't think we've heard this before.
So the thing is, the critically acclaimed social media platform Instagram, there was a post made by an account.
Wait, those are kind of cool though.
Wait, let me see. I might screenshot of the picture.
Those shoes are cool. You go with the low top though, Jonah?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, 100%. Do you even know?
Which colorways were you looking at? The white and blue?
I like the ones with the water on them.
Yeah, those are really cool. Yeah, those are awesome. They remind me of didn't Puma come out with some?
Oh yeah, yep.
Who's sponsored by Puma?
DeAndre Ayton is for sure.
Okay. And it's Kawhi is a New Balance guy, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who didn't some big free agent or not free agent rookie sign with Puma or something or New Balance?
Darius Baisley did.
Oh yeah.
Who did LaMelo?
I have no idea who LaMelo is.
Ah.
Dude, where's this picture? Anyways, he liked a picture that said Damian Lillard liked a
Oh yeah,
picture
LaMelo, multi-year shoe deal with Puma.
Giannis should come to Portland. And so for me, that's confirmation that Giannis is coming to Portland. Because Damian Lillard owns Portland.
Yeah,
Damian Lillard owns Lake Oswego.
he owns the greater Portland metropolitan area.
I
So.
would say that Kevin Love owns Lake Oswego.
Doesn't Dame live there? Pretty sure he does. He lives by like the Rogers brothers or something. And they're like buds.
And yes.
Yes, sir. I don't know, dude. LaMelo Ball. Yeah, I wanted to mention this. Remember when people were talking about how he's little, or like he was concerned about how he's little, and I was like 6'6". Crazy.
Yeah, he's a big guy. So I guess to transition to the
Yet again, is that like the 4th or 5th time now?
Hang on, I have a story I have to tell.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
So when Lonzo Ball was at UCLA,
Yeah.
I saw him at H&M,
Oh, no way.
but I didn't know
No.
his name. I didn't know his name. So I pull up to H&M. UCLA basketball team was walking in. They're all wearing the UCLA like tracksuits. I'm like, whoa, like the UCLA basketball team. This was kind of like early in my basketball days. Like I didn't know like a whole lot about basketball and stuff.
But weren't we like sophomores?
Yeah.
Freshmen.
I think I was a freshman or a sophomore.
Yeah.
I was a freshman. So I wasn't like, I didn't watch a whole lot of basketball and stuff. And certainly I'm still not even really like involved in college basketball. But so I didn't so they walk in and then I'm like in there shopping around and I make eye contact with this dude and I'm like, it's one of the guys in the thing. And I'm like, I've seen this guy before. Then I don't know his name or anything. So I just look away. And then the next day they were playing the Beavers. Obviously that's why they're coming up. And one of my friends posts a video of him and zooms in on him. And he's like, oh, it's Lonzo Ball. And I was like, no way, dude, that was Lonzo Ball. So I saw him and I was right there. And I could ask for a picture of him.
Ooh.
That would have been awkward if you didn't even, hey, guy. Can I get a picture with you?
Hey, UCLA guy.
Hey, bruh. I remember, didn't Lonzo hit that crazy buzzer beater to beat the Ducks or something? Or was that Dylan Brooks that hit it to beat UCLA?
I have no idea.
I forget. There was a crazy game that happened at Matt Night or something. I forget who it was. Dang it. Yeah. There was there's the Ducks. Been good for a while, guys. The Ducks? Did you hear about how they had 5 false positives or something? Their football team, and now they can resume practice or something.
Oh, no, that's good.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. And then Florida doesn't even care about COVID.
Yeah.
They literally have positive tests all the time, and it's like no one cares.
What?
They just keep rolling with practice. Stupid. But
Okay.
yeah, let's steer back to the NBA.
Yeah, so I actually had some guys who, if the Bucks don't trade the 24th pick of the draft, which I think it's in their best interest to trade it, some players they might look at are Trey Jones from Duke, point guard, Jalen Smith, center out of Maryland, Theo Maledon, a point guard from France, Terrell Terry, point guard from Stanford, a guy who I really like.
Oh yeah, you raved about Terrell.
I'm a big Terrell Terry guy. And then Leandro Bolmaro, who is kind of a combo wing, sort of like a poor man's Deni Avdija from Argentina. Yeah, those are kind of the guys I'd look at. I wouldn't really expect the Bucks to be making this pick though. So
What do you think should happen with Giannis, Jonah?
what do you mean? Like, what do I think Giannis should do, or what do I think the Bucks should do with him?
What do you think Giannis should do?
Well, I think it's clear that the Bucks want to keep him.
I think Giannis should not. He shouldn't sign the Supermax, and then next summer he should play in Dallas with Luka and Kristaps.
That would be crazy.
That would be wild.
That would be a that would be a dynasty. So
That would be unbeatable
How many years before they have to pay Luka?
from every angle.
2 more years.
He's been in the league for 2 or 3? 2.
2 years.
2.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah.
Dude, that would,
I could see him as a Maverick. And Mark
Yeah.
Cuban's down. He might pay some of him his own cash under the table.
Yeah.
if Kristaps and Luka stay healthy, that would be one of the best big 3 ever, dude.
Yeah, 100%.
If Kristaps, Luka, and who? Oh yeah. Obviously Giannis.
So I guess I'll finish off this episode just by listing some free agents I like for the Bucks. The first one is kind of in the mold of that score first point guard type that we talked about earlier as a need for Milwaukee. And this one is really only relevant if the Bucks are able to maintain their full mid-level exception. But that guy is Jordan Clarkson, who I think could for sure be a target.
Low-key like a... Low-key...
I like Jordan Clarkson. I mentioned him the other podcast, and you guys gave me a dirty look because I said he's good, and you're like, Jonah's like,
What team were we talking about then?
well, it had to have been. What was our last?
The Blazers?
No.
No,
No.
it was. Did we do Hornets, Lakers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were talking about guards, and I said Jordan Clarkson or something.
I feel like Jordan Clarkson is low-key kind of like a maybe better version of DiVincenzo.
He's on the Nugs.
DiVincenzo?
Who's he on? The Jazz.
He was on the Jazz. I don't know if I'd quite give him the DiVincenzo comparison.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like DiVincenzo can sort of play off ball as more of a slasher.
Okay, that's true.
And then DiVincenzo also, I think, is a much better defensive player than Clarkson. I would say Clarkson is more of the mold of maybe like a Lou Williams or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know. I'd prefer getting my point guard in one of the Eric Bledsoe trades we talked about, and then using this MLE on something else. Another guy who I kind of had though. Here, I'll just list the other three guys I had as sort of a point guard, half court ball handler. Alec Burks, Austin Rivers, Bryn Forbes.
Alec Burks knocks 3 balls down. Wait, what were the other guys? Trey Burks?
Alec Burks, Austin Rivers, and Bryn Forbes.
Oh, okay. Austin Rivers.
No, I don't like Austin Rivers for them.
Yeah, I mean,
I like Alec.
Maybe I do.
Schmoink. Dude, Alec's got the straightest.
He's looking improving offensively, isn't he?
Austin?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but the thing is, like, if he might be a little bit low on the 3-point shot for the Bucks, which would totally make sense. Like, that's a very reasonable concern to have. But just as a guy they could bring in near the minimum, I think they could do worse. One wing I had as sort of a 3-and-D guy would be Damien Dotson.
I don't know who that is.
From the Knicks. He's
Come on, Channon. God.
I think he's an extremely underrated player. I think he's a great shooter, and I think he can play solid defense. I think the analog for him might almost be like, I don't know.
Dude, the Knicks are like a black hole for me in the NBA. Like, the Knicks
they're gonna win the title.
I envy you, Channon.
Karis LeVert is a baller.
learn things about the Knicks and to see things about the Knicks, you have to actively pursue it.
Wait, I thought you were talking about the Nets.
Yeah.
No, Knicks.
I'm so dumb.
So
dumb.
Damien Dotson is a guy. I bet Kellan, you like Damien Dotson. Obviously, he's a good shooter. He's got an exceptional education.
Damien Dotson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that he is. Just give me a second.
I mean, great shooter. He plays solid defense in addition to the exceptional education he got from the University of Oregon.
Wait, when?
Oh,
no way. I remember him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I remember.
The last free agent I wanted to talk about for the Bucks is a guy who at one point I would not have wished him upon my worst.
He was a long
enemy.
time ago though.
But I've grown up a lot since then, and I think I'm ready to advise the Bucks to use a minimum contract on Anthony Tolliver.
No. I will never advise anyone to be involved with Anthony Tolliver. What?
I think he could kind of take the role that Marvin Williams left after he retired.
No, he cannot take any role.
Dude, I remember when we were at the Warriors Blazer game and they called out Tolliver on the starting five. And I was like, isn't he old? And Jonah's like, oh, he's older than dirt. And I was just like laughing so.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Those are some dark
Bouncing
days.
around NBA teams bricking threes. Supposedly a shooter. He just bricks threes. He's supposed to be a shooter and he can't shoot.
Yeah.
He looks like he's 45, but he's 35.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess Anthony Tolliver is probably a good spot to end this.
Poor Anthony, dude.
No, get him out of the league, dude. I'm not for him. I
No.
can't be mad for him, dude. He's not supposed to be in the NBA.
Is Brook Lopez the center of the future for the Bucks?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, this is when I started hating him even more. The Memphis Grizzlies and the Portland Trailblazers are playing in the first bubble game. The Blazers won this game. The Grizzlies at one point were up by 13. They show the bench. Anthony Tolliver is on the bench doing this. I hate for him at that point. Shriveled. Like, you're like 45 dancing right now, and your team's up by 13, and you're going to go on to lose the game. It made me hate him so much more. I cannot stand him. One of my least.
Oh,
all time.
poor
So I
Anthony.
guess the jury's still out about Anthony Tolliver to the Bucks.
Yeah. If anybody's not busy on Saturday, I highly recommend watching UFC Fight Night, Jonah.
Okay.
It's not going to disappoint. Seriously. Absolutely. Stacked to the brim.
We can record for that later this week if you want to.
Oh yeah, I'm either going to do it tomorrow or Thursday. You can definitely, you can come on, and then I think that other kid that I did the other UFC one is going to come on. You know,
if you have him, you probably don't need me. I'd just give him the
why? You're fun to have, and you can do predictions too.
All right.
Yeah, dude, it'd be sick. The more the merrier. The more people that chime in, it's way more fun for sure. And if Wesley ever wants to do it again, I'm down.
Okay, dope.
Yeah, and then so what are we down? We had one episode dedicated to the Blazers, Warriors, Lakers, Hornets, now
Bucks.
Bulls and Bucks.
So I was thinking,
So we got,
are you down to keep going with this series?
I'm not going to quit until all 30 teams are done.
All right. So I was thinking next we could hit the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors.
Can we do Cleveland Cavaliers and the Pistons and talk about the Tristan Thompson trade?
What?
I'm just kidding. Remember how I was trying to name all the players on the Pistons, and
Yeah, because
Channon was like the reasonable trade with Cleveland dating a
yeah,
Kardashian, and then
confused with
You got traded. That trade happened.
huh?
That trade happened.
No, it didn't. Right?
No, I think you just got it confused.
No, I didn't, dude. I swear.
I thought we settled this last time.
I think Channon's like an NBA insider, so I think it's probably going to happen in a couple of weeks, and we just don't know about it yet.
No, dude, I promise. Okay, Andre Drummond plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Okay, Tristan Thompson.
Plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Well, we're going to see what Google has to say.
They traded John Henson for Andre Drummond.
Oh, damn.
Okay, so we're gonna do you said the Cavs and the
Raptors. We can do Pistons though. That would be appropriate for this podcast.
So we'll do a threesome.
No, let's just do the two of them. Cavs, Pistons.
Okay, we'll do Cavs, Pistons, and then we'll save
Do
them.
you think we can knock them out 3 at a time? I feel like I'd have to kind of condense.
No, let 2 at a time. I think is perfect.
All right, yeah, Cavs, Pistons next
Why
time.
do they have both of those guys?
Because they're the Cavs.
All right.
And Andre Drummond's on the Cavs. I know that now.
Yeah, and they had one other center. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Ante Zizic. but I think he's a free agent.
Bro, I high key want to do an episode where I ask you one question, name as many current NBA players in the NBA right now, and just have him fire them off.
That'd be boring because that would last. That would be like
No, I think it would be absolutely hilarious.
that would be 15 minutes of me just naming random people.
We should do one where it's like ridiculous NBA questions for Jonah.
All right, me and Channon, let's come up with some for next time.
Like absolutely ridiculous questions.
Like regarding teams and trades that like would never happen, or
No, be like, who is
just hardcore trivia.
third string point guard?
Yeah,
On what team?
for the Raptors.
The Raptors. Oh, that's tough.
We should do an NBA trivia for Jonah.
All right, well, we'll
Do the
definitely do
Raptors have a third string point guard? I'm sure they do, and it's just
that. Who are the first two?
Yeah, actually, I just realized neither of us know the answer to that question.
it's Lowry
Kyle
are
and
the
Van
first.
Vliet.
They have to have another one.
They don't have Darrell Wright anymore. No.
No, DeLon Wright's on the Mavs.
Oh, yeah, Darrell. Darrell.
Do they not have one?
I feel like I'm just really tired, and it's gonna be somebody extremely obvious.
I don't know.
No, they don't have one.
Wow. So we
Okay.
actually have to have valid questions then.
Yeah.
Give
We
me
have to do
another
our-
one because that was a trick question.
Who's the name the entire Warriors roster?
No, that's too long. How much
That
money?
wouldn't take him long. That would take him 30 seconds.
How much money is Blake Griffin making this year?
28 million, right?
No way. Is that real? You know that?
It's like 26 or 28. Let me look it up.
That's fascinating. I'll name him.
29. 29. So
Oh man.
I was close.
That's a pretty good guess, dude.
How much money is Zach Collins making?
Oh, that's easy. Zach Collins is making like 7 mil.
How much money is Kai Bowman making?
He's on the minimum.
How much money is Karis LeVert making?
That's I think 19. Here, let me look that up.
Look it up. He's making 19?
That's what I thought, but I might be wrong.
Dang.
He deserves 19.
Yeah. But isn't he?
No,
is
it's 17 and a half.
Oh wow. What's the leeway we're gonna give Jonah if we ask him questions like what does it have to be in between for it to be right?
I feel like within 2 million is good.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do better than that though. Let's say within.
Oh,
1
let's
mil.
do within $1 million.
Yeah, it has to be. The parameters have to be somewhat tight.
Yeah, we'll do within $1 million. And then how far back are we gonna go, history wise?
Oh, just current. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know anything about the NBA before like 2010.
Yeah, there's no way you could ask him like some dude's salary in like 2013.
Well, I wouldn't do that, but I could ask him.
Oh, like players?
Yeah, I would never ask you what was Karl Malone's salary and blah blah blah. Like obviously you wouldn't know that.
I'd say try to keep it pretty current.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say current questions. Let's do it for all of us though. Like let's all come up with questions.
Can you just do Warriors ones for me?
Yes.
Because I don't really know anything else. I only really know players. I couldn't tell you how much money they're making or their stats.
All right. Well, we'll do this. We'll do a special edition episode
Okay.
sometime.
How about
Alright.
a top 5?
Worst NBA players. That would be my favorite episode ever.
I
wonder who's number one gonna be.
That might be appropriate to throw in with our Cavaliers and Pistons off season. So we might have to throw that in at the end.
Who's number one?
I'd have to think about it.
It's not Anthony
Oh.
Oliver.
Oh, okay.
Top competitor.
Okay. So it's
Anthony-
gonna be like a legit one. It's not gonna be Like it's
Giannis
not going to
isn't-
be
Giannis is not going to be on it, right?
No, it'll be more players like Russell.
Draymond's not going to be on it.
Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Draymond. Just those are some front runners.
Giannis.
Giannis.
Yeah, worst lineup in the league. Russell, Draymond, Giannis, and Paul George.
Starting five if you want to guaranteed never do anything of value.
Who? Oh, like if you don't want to win. I feel like that lineup could get through.
No.
No way.
You don't think so?
Wait, who was on it again?
Paul George, Draymond Green, Russell Westbrook, Giannis, and then who's playing the five? Or who's just center in general?
Anthony Tolliver.
Okay.
There's just not enough.
That team's
shooting.
getting through to the finals.
As Blazer fans, we know Anthony Tolliver is capable of playing five.
Yeah, that's facts.
Okay,
I feel like that team would do just fine. No?
I think they'd lose in the second round.
I think they'd lose every game.
Not with Giannis.
Oh, in the regular season, that's right, yeah.
I think they'd probably be a 2 or a 3 seed, or I think they'd be a top 3 seed and then lose in the second round.
Top
All right.
3 seed and lose in the second round.
I can
Yeah,
do some.
probably. Okay. Thanks, guys.